Is it recording? Okay. We're ready.
Okay. If you guys could please humor me and close your eyes. Imagine a simpler life full of social events where people were judged by their craftsmanship. Imagine women living miles away from their neighbors, being stuck in their houses during long winter months, not being able to pick up the phone, or email, or even text message. Alright, you can open your eyes now. This was the scene that many 19th century women experienced. So when quilting bees came into existence, they held a high place in these women's hearts. Based on my research, I will illustrate just how important these bees were to them. Quilting bees were the means, mode, and gossip central for the women of the 19th century who participated in the functional art form of quilting. During the minutes that follow, I will tell you what items were needed for quilts, what took place at a quilting bee, and the significance of the different types of quilts made. The women hosting a quilting bee needed to have the room, tools, and supplies ready during the event. To start off, she needed something to quilt. Either the hostess or one of her friends would hand stitch a top of a quilt and bring it to the party. On the day of the event, they would have to stretch the top piece over a frame. A frame is a hollowed out table that could be adjusted to the different size of the quilt. And sometimes, if they didn't have a specific quilting room or a specific big enough room for the frame to sit in during the winter, they would hang it from the ceiling and lower it before the event. The lady hosting the event would also need to make enough food for everybody during the stitching part, and then there's usually a party that followed, so she'd have to provide food for that. And a quilting bee was a community and social event where the women would come together to complete a quilt. They would all sit around a frame that had the top of a quilt on it, and they would hand stitch the batting and backing. These events were right after winter, so the women not only stitched, they talked, gossiped, anything. But the most important part was that it was an opportunity to show their talent, since back in that time, talent was what helps you in your social standing around the community. The talent for a quilting bee would of course be the stitches that the women did, how well, creatively, and evenly their stitches were. The quilting bee was also a place that the older women could teach the younger girls how to stitch. They also would invent new stitches over the winter and teach their friends. Lastly, quilting bees produce great pieces of artwork, like this one I have here. Most of the quilts done at these events were done in the square patch pieced fashion, which is where they take squares of different material and just stitch them together. But others displayed more creative and intricate designs, like a Caesar's crown, which is similar to the dinner plate design, except for it has a circle and triangles around that, and then it has a diamond in the center to show that it's a crown. Now, like, the stitching that's even on this is incredible. Just how they did it without a machine. It was hand done. It's awesome. And when a young woman would get married, she'd make sure she had the most talented women over to complete her wedding quilt. So if you're invited to an event and you knew that it was a wedding quilt, you knew that you had the talent and social standing, and it was very big socially for you. As you can tell, quilting bees were a very important event. They were one of the major social events of the year, and they displayed the attendants' stitching skills, illustrated the community's social needs, and portrayed the hostess's house, supplies, and culinary skills. The quilting bee not only captured eventful times in history, but it produced great pieces of artwork that were hand-stitched by a community. And if you would like to find any more information about quilting, either in the 19th century or the history of American quilting, I have two great sources. It's called America's Quilting History. It's a website. And then the second one is Quilt History. Thank you.
Yay!
Did you say in there anywhere that they last 100 years or more?
They last? Oh, yeah, that's right.
Any other questions from the gallery?
Well, it's just one thing triggers your memory, but
I'm sure they had these little guys running around at the quilting bees.
Yes, they did.
Whoa! Ow! You okay? Did I get you on the rib or the elbow? Something wumped. No more soda though.
might have been his boot settling back down. Who knows?
Yeah, that was much better than the first time.
Much better. Made